Be present. Can't stress that enough. This is going to be one of my most important videos because technology is just becoming such a powerful thing, and honestly we need to take control of that, and I'm going to help you do that with this video. If you're watching this right now, chances are your mind has been pretty scattered. You've been glued to your phone, switching between apps, notifications, just endless distractions on a handheld device that honestly runs a majority of our lives at this point. You're wondering why you feel stuck, anxious, unproductive, and the truth? You're not present. We live in a world where technology pulls us in every direction constantly. It's fighting for your attention, every notification, every ping, everything it can do in order to get you on the app and just mindlessly scroll, text, because it makes the people who created it tons of money. And all of that is just a reminder that you're distracted and you could be working on something that's actually important to you. And if you're not careful, you could end up living your life in fragments because you've been stuck on your phone, never fully present, never fully there, never realizing that you're stuck on these apps when you could be doing something actually important to you. If you really want to make real progress, and I mean real progress that you could be proud of in every aspect of life, you've got to put the distractions aside, and that means most things, not just technology, but we're talking about technology in this video. And it starts with disconnecting. You've got to stay off technology while you're working. Like, select the time that you've chose to work. You've got to stay off completely, unless you're like working on a computer like I usually do. It has to be this specific application. You can't go on YouTube, you can't do anything. I wouldn't even really recommend listening to music, because then like you can, but like no words, as long as it's like good. You gotta be mindful about this stuff, guys. The phone, turn it off, silence it. To be honest, if you haven't already, you need to disable pretty much every notification you have. The only people I let notify me are my mom, my dad, and my siblings, because that's honestly all I need. If anything happens, I can be there, and like, you know, those are important messages. The rest though, if I get those notifications, it'll give me a reason to be distracted, to get on my phone, and you just don't want that at all, especially if you're working. So if you're too lazy to disable your notifications, you're too much of a wimp, and you really prioritize the attention you get from your phone, then you just need to put your phone in an entirely different room completely in order to focus on your work. And if it gets so extreme, you need to like log out of social media, delete the app entirely if it's causing you that much like distraction that you can't work. Just completely get rid of it, because what purpose is it serving you if you're not doing what you need to be doing? If you can't work while you have this app, then it's just a distraction. That's all it is. You're not getting anything from it, just texting people. You can text people on iMessage, on your messages app, whatever. I can almost guarantee that 90% of the people you're texting on social media in general aren't important. They aren't helping you in any way. Honestly, just get rid of it if it's that much of a distraction. You don't need it unless you are trying to pursue that as like your job. Because every time you're checking your phone, you're breaking that attention, that focus that we strive so hard to forge and like make, that it just ruins the whole flow. You will be so much less productive checking your phone and then eventually like scrolling on it, because you can't, it's difficult. Like, that's the whole point of the phone, is to get your attention and use it. Every app on there has been scientifically created by masterminds who know how to like get your dopamine receptors going in order for you to spend so much time on that app. And it is addicting. I mean, I'm a teenager, you might be a teenager, but we've all been there where we're just constantly texting people, and there's strategies that app creators make in order to keep you on there and keep you texting or watching videos, and it's, whoa. It is the most manipulative stuff ever, and we don't need that when we just need to work and be present and talk to the people around us, talk to literally just our friends. I'll have a story about that later, I'll tell you. But as soon as you get on your phone, it can take you, like, it could distract you for minutes, hours maybe, if you can't get off, if you don't have the self-control, which a lot of people don't, especially in this day and age, because that's what we have as a like relief, to be honest. We just have our phones to give us some happiness instead of working when we know we should, because it's just so much easier. What does being present actually mean? Being present means dedicating your full attention to the task at hand, no matter what's around you, be like technology, just other noises. I'll give you an example. If you're having a conversation with this girl you're interested in, you're not gonna be looking at those dudes around the corner, not around the corner, but at the corner, jacking around, making loud noises. If you're getting married, you're not going to be looking at your parents. You're going to be solely focused on the woman in front of you, right? It's just dedicating your attention and focus onto what matters most in that specific time, that task at hand. And not letting technology steal your time is a huge part of that, because it is the biggest time waster. You genuinely don't realize how much you're missing, how much potential you're wasting just by letting your attention be divided by your screen, goals in your life. It's just too much. And I'm gonna tell you this story. So recently I posted a lake house vlog, and it was great. Honestly, I didn't record much because I was just trying to be so present, and it was great. I had so much fun. But I remember one night we had a campfire going and all my friends were there, and the only person who wasn't on their phone besides me was my friend Josh, because he was taking a nap. But the rest of my friends were on their phones, and instead of talking or like conversing or anything, they were just scrolling, replying to people, when our really close group of friends were right there, when we could have had like a meaningful, genuine conversation and had a really good night. But they decided to be distracted and not present in the moment just by being on their phone. And honestly, it kind of made me sad, because I was sitting there in the grass being like sort of autistic. I was like, oh, I'm not wearing my shoes, I'm grounding, I'm just really want to like relax and focus in this time. While my friends were so distracted by the technology in front of them that they just didn't realize they were missing out on such an important part. And honestly, it kind of frustrated me, because I'm just like, why can't we just talk? Because we don't get a lot of time like this. We're very limited as humans. We have like maybe 70, 80 years, and we're spending 90% of our time now on our phones instead of talking to the people around us. It's just very frustrating. So how do you stay present? First of all, you're gonna want to create boundaries. The most amazing way to do it, like no bull crap, is you're gonna have to set specific times to where you can check your phone, be on your phone, because otherwise, if you don't have this restriction, it's just gonna be way easier to get on it whenever you want. And never allocate time to be on your phone at the same time you're working, because obviously it's gonna distract you. You're just gonna get on it and waste all that time. You don't want that. When it's time to work, it's time to work, and just that. You have no other reason to be doing anything but working when you're doing work during the allotted time you've given yourself. No distractions, no split focus. Treat your attention like it's sacred, because it truly is. It's all we have: time and focus and intention. Where you put your focus is where all of your energy is going to go. And that's why in the last video I talked so much about putting your decisions, like a large percentage of your decisions, towards your goal, because where you put your energy is where you're going to grow, is where you're going to progress. And being present in those tasks is really going to help you progress that so much faster than what anyone else would be doing. Even then, being present isn't just about the productivity and everything you're doing. It's about the peace of mind you get when you can really disconnect and just be in the moment and work and talk to people. When you're constantly switching between multiple different distractions, it's not only hurting your productivity, but it's hurting your mental clarity. Because if a single beep goes off and your whole attention focuses from work or a conversation, that's almost like an addiction, man. You hear your phone go off and you can't help but look and try and respond to it, because it gives you a sort of dopamine rush. It is really a dopamine addiction. Like, as soon as you hear your phone buzz, ooh, I can pick it up, I can respond. It's bad for you, dude. Turn off those notifications. Being present means fully engaging with the present moment, the task at hand. Conversations right in front of you. They're so important. You don't want to be completely elsewhere just because your phone's buzzing in your pocket when this person's telling you something that's very important to them. It's about living in the now, and I can't stress that enough. But the most important thing I'll tell you in this whole video is probably going to be technology is a tool. It's not a master. It has to be wisely used, and when you have to be present, you really got to take a step back from it in order to really feel and listen to and be intentional with the people and things that are around you. Your work, your relationships, your peace of mind, they all really depend on your presence and how committed you are to focusing on what's in front of you and what's at hand, rather than all the technology and distractions in life that are around us. Just take a moment and imagine how much further you'd be, how much more progressed you'd be if you had just stopped letting your phone control you. Because instead of every time you spent 3 hours doom scrolling, you worked instead. You're right here, right now. You could have been right here. And it's actually crazy because 3 hours of work a day, when we spend like roughly at least 6 hours a day on our phones, just based on statistics and stuff that I've seen, that's a lot of time that you could be spent working and progressing your goals and dreams to get to where you want to be. And it's actually crazy how much time we spend completely melted brain, unpresent, not listening to anything, when we just need a little effort in order to be present and do the work. Think about it, bro. When you disconnect from the noise, you reconnect with yourself. You reconnect with the work, the people that actually matter in your life. You start moving with purpose, with intention, with honestly this sort of aura and happiness that just makes you magnetic to other people. And doesn't that sound nice? Because honestly, recently through my self-improvement journey of trying to get better, grow as a person, and being more intentional and present, I felt more happier, and I can just talk to people way better because I'm wondering, how can I connect with this person? How do I just feel like happy in this moment? And usually it's helped every time, instead of wondering, oh, I wonder who's texted me, or I need to respond to this person as soon as possible, because honestly they don't care. And if they do really care that much, then they're more addicted to the phone than you. Because if you haven't responded to someone for 2 hours and they're like spamming you over it, that's a problem. That's an addiction. They really need that much attention. It's 2 hours. People go 2 hours without seeing each other all the time. Relax. You need to stop reacting to every single beep and buzz that you hear in anything, especially in work. That's why I said keep your phone in a different room entirely. It's not going to help you at all. It's not going to serve you. It's just going to distract you. And instead, take control of your own time, your own decisions, and your own intentions when you put that phone down, when you silence it all, and be present in the moment. You have to take control of your own time, your own focus, and your own life. Just be present, dude. Get off the distractions and focus on what's in front of you. That's when the real progress happens, and that's when you really start getting into the thick of it and realizing, okay, this work isn't really fun, but it's going to be much more valuable to me than responding to 80 people on Snap. Because honestly, Snapchat is the most addictive thing ever. There's so many people. It's worth, every social media is not worth it, dude. I'm just being completely honest. No one really cares how you focus on your time except yourself. So you've really got to be, I'm going to say it again, intentional with how you spend it. And if you spend it all on social media, you're going to be very regretful you did that at all. You're the only one that can change and will be able to change how you choose to focus. And that's why I really recommend meditating, because that's personally helped me a lot. You have to take advantage of the time that you have, because if you don't, you've wasted it. Time's going by so fast, you need to take advantage of it. The world is still gonna be there when you're done, when you die, when you make a mistake. The world's still turning. It doesn't revolve around you, unfortunately. No one really cares what you're doing. which is honestly relieving in a way, but also kind of sad, because if I die, no one really cares. It's apart from your family. Like, there's people that love you, don't get me wrong. God loves you, your family loves you. But the world will keep turning, and the world still keeps going. So you have to take advantage, be present, be intentional with the time you spend, put it towards your goals, put it toward everything that means something to you. It's time to work. Be present. Like, subscribe, take control of your attention. Welcome to the cult. Mwah!